Hey there, it's Jeff, player 831 from Season 1 of Beast Games, and I am here for another episode of the Beast Files with a special guest, Armando, the pilot that survived 100 days in the private jet with MrBeast.
I just bought this luxurious private jet, and if this pilot can spend 100 days trapped inside, he keeps it.
Armando, welcome to the Beast Files.
I'm happy to be talking to you. I feel like I'm on the same journey that you were just a few months ago. So I'm happy to follow your lead and take your advice for all these things.
I think what you did is crazier than the Beast Games. I think just from an isolation perspective, like I just could not imagine being by myself for that long. And especially like, well, I have a ton of questions, but before we kind of get into it, like how did this even come kind of on your radar? How did this pop up in your email? Like how did you find MrBeast in this challenge?
Well, I did not find them. They actually found me. I am a corporate pilot by trade. So the airplane that we used in the challenge, that is what I fly for work. And I fly for essentially private individuals as a contract pilot, as well as an accounting firm in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I am trained in the airplane, type rated in the airplane. That's what we call in the industry. And it just happened to be that my work airplane that I fly regularly was going down for maintenance for an extended period, like 12 weeks. So I asked my boss, my chief pilot, hey, there's this ad looking for a contract pilot out of Greenville, North Carolina. Do you mind if I just apply for it since, we're not going to be flying and I'll just make some extra cash? So I actually applied for a job. The casting team, who is amazing, and we got to talk about the casting team. But I didn't know I was being cast for anything. I was actually just applying for a contract pilot gig. It was weird that
This is breaking news to me. Like I had zero clue. Like I thought like you kind of knew what you're getting into.
Oh no, not at all. Everything that was in the video was real. One of the things that I appreciated much more, I have no relationship to the industry, entertainment, to anything. I have no frame of reference going into this. Everything was real. Nothing was scripted. I honestly thought I was just gonna fly Jimmy around, right? Because I'm North Carolina based also, and for me, it was just going to be an opportunity to fly them to great destinations and stay in nice hotels. And to be honest, which I think goes with a little bit of what the challenge ended up being, I was surprised that Jimmy would have a jet that's not that big. The Hawker that we used in the challenge is not a terribly big private jet. It's a mid-sized private jet. I said, "Wow, I thought MrBeast would have a bigger jet."
So then let's fast forward. Like when did you find out what it was?
It was actually just a few weeks before we started filming. I had been talking to the team over there, and I was approaching it from a professional pilot standpoint. I am a captain, so I said, "Hey, whatever it is that you want to do, I'll keep you safe, I'll keep you legal, and I'm happy to help you guys make good content, whatever that looks like." And they had said something weird that I was like, "Wait a minute, what are you guys talking about?" And they're like, "Oh no, we'd like you to be potentially the contestant." And I said, "I'm almost 50 years old. I am not your demographic. I'm not sure I'm your guy." And the casting team was great. I think they got a chuckle out of that because at no point did I audition. And for anybody that is, wants to pursue doing something like this, right? MrBeast Casting has their own social media space, but just be you, just be authentic. I wasn't auditioning, and there I ended up, stepping foot onto the jet.
and what did your wife say when you told her, like, hey, it isn't really what I thought it was going to be, but here's what it is? Like, what was the initial feedback?
Yeah, one of the things that I've enjoyed watching your journey is how the strength that you have in your family. We have also built that strength in our family. I was in the military for 22 years. My wife was a huge part of that, especially towards the later years. And we have created a household in which either one of us can run the house. Either one of us has access to all the things. We're not dependent on each other. So so from her standpoint, she was all for it. And I've done, at the end of the day, I retired from the Air Force with 13 deployments, 13 military deployments, which plays into the resiliency required for the challenge. And I think Byron talked a lot about it during his journey too. But my wife was totally good. My daughter was the one that I was worried about because my last deployment, she was just a toddler, and now she was a little bit older. She's 10 going into this, and I was really worried about her missing me for 100 days. We hadn't been apart that long, but once I told her it was MrBeast, she said, "No, you're a dumb, go do it."
Yeah, you got to do it. I mean, and so and obviously as a private pilot, and you found out that wait, the plane that that I fly all the time is the prize. How did that land on you?
Um, it was actually bittersweet. It's gonna sound weird that because I am in the industry and because that is the airplane that I fly professionally, I knew that that in itself is a challenge. It's very expensive to own and operate a private jet. So it was a bit bittersweet in that it would be really cool, but and you saw a little bit of this in the video from the very beginning. I was thinking to myself, I don't have the money to win this jet, to operate it.
That's like one of my favorite parts of the videos. When you're in the back, I think if, like in my mind, you have the glasses on, you with a calculator and a notepad, you're just doing calculus to try to figure out can I make this work? How long can I make it work? And then you hear it start talking about months and stuff. But yeah, to own a private jet, I can only imagine how much goes into it.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure how the MrBeast. I hadn't really watched MrBeast videos before. I knew of him. My daughter knew of him, obviously, but I didn't know that that's how it was going to go with the offers and all that stuff. So my not that there was a strategy because I had no real strategy.
The only strategy is don't touch the ground.
Just don't touch the ground, right? Just make it to the end, which I knew from day one that I could make it 100 days. That was a question that my family has, that my friends have asked me. At no point did I ever think about quitting. And I knew from day one going into it that I could make it to day 100, just based on my previous experiences, and I felt like all of that had prepared me. But yeah, the one thing I was worried about is becoming one of these winners of anything that wins a thing and then the thing bankrupts you. So
yeah.
that was actually a big concern for me.
So, I mean, and what did you fly in the Air Force?
So I did 10 years of counter drug, counter narcotics. So I flew a bunch of little airplanes in the Caribbean trying to chase bad guys. And then the last 10 years I was in special operations where I was mostly on the V-22 Osprey, the CV-22 for the Air Force. So fun airplane to fly, but after 22 years, I was, I was kind of ready to hang that up, and that actually worked into my final decision, which I'm sure we'll get to. But yeah, so I had a lot of dynamic flying experience, and I don't think the production team knew that or understood it going into it. So we were actually able to do some really fun things with the airplane that I don't think you would have been able to do with just a regular charter pilot. So with my military experience, we were able to really knock out some great footage and some really fun challenges.
Part of me is I'm like, you look like you're getting amazing views. I'm like, did you really fly this close to Niagara Falls, or it looked like the Grand Canyon? I couldn't tell where it was, but the views were pristine. So I mean, I'll ask you, 22 years as an Air Force pilot, now as a private pilot, my best friend growing up went to the Air Force Academy, flew fighters. When someone's a pilot, they love it. What does it mean for you to fly?
It is. It's totally in your blood. It's your passion. It's one of these things where it's like cars or gaming or something that you really people get really passionate about aviation. And I want to clarify, I was actually enlisted aircrew member, so I wasn't an Air Force pilot. I was a sensor operator and then a flight engineer.
Yeah.
But the whole time I always flew general aviation. I was heavily involved in the Reno air races, so I have a lot of formation time. I had a lot of I've owned, believe it or not, 3 airplanes, little airplanes,
Yeah.
but before the challenge. So, it was just really fun to, and we're going to talk about Obina, my co-pilot. It was really fun to expose him to this military style flying, and everything you saw was real. We really dropped down to 3,000 feet over Niagara Falls. We were really flying those air to air shots. We were probably about 30 feet away from the photo ship. So
Amazing.
really tucked it in there. It was a lot of fun to make that.
Well, I mean, it's yeah. Like, when else are you going to do that? And I think that's the beautiful thing about MrBeast and people our age is, yeah, we get to be cool dad to to my son and to your daughter, but like, when else would we be able to do this stuff? It's like it's wildly fun. Getting back to the challenge, you find out what it is. You know this plane inside and out. Like, what were your emotions the first few days of stepping onto the plane?
I had experienced similar things, and I loved. I watched your interview with Byron. The Survive for $500,000. I think it was. He talks a lot about resiliency and the education that the military provides nowadays. So I had the tools going into it to deal with isolation, deal with being away from the family, not communicating. Now, I'd never gone 100 days without communicating with my family, but from a can I make it standpoint, I felt really prepared to do the challenge. Not to say that there weren't hard days, but
And that kind of came through. I never got a sense that you were going to quit. I mean, you definitely get like the sense, especially like when you open up to the camera and it's like, oh my gosh, like I miss my family. Like, I did not expect to miss my family this much. And to your point, you've been gone, but you've never been disconnected. It's just a different feeling. And then you throw in isolation, and it's a whole different ballgame. What was the maximum number of days where you didn't see, where you didn't like really have a conversation with somebody?
17. I do remember specifically there was a 17-day stretch where we didn't fly. I didn't see Jimmy. I didn't see Carl, Nolan, anybody from the crew. I had interaction with the production team there in the hangar that you saw in the video, and they were great. But there were some logistical, I guess not challenges, but some logistical things that had to happen with the airplane. So like, I only had an airplane toilet, which meant it had to get emptied at some point. So every 3 days, the plane would get towed out of the hangar by the line crew at that local airport. I would see the sun, and then 20 minutes later, after the lab was serviced, they would put me back into the hangar. So I got these glimpses of people walking around me, and yeah. So, but 17 days was the longest stretch.
And just to paint that picture is when you're in the hangar's closed. Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a giant white padded room.
And I mean, and then like if you stood up, like it didn't look like you could stand up in it, or could you barely?
Yeah, no, I'm 5'9", and the from the floor to the ceiling of the airplane is 5'8". So I realized that, which is actually pretty tall for a private jet, but without shoes and without a hat on, I could walk without sort of, bending my neck too much. But it was pretty tight in there.
Yeah, it didn't look comfortable, and clearly, you see in the challenge how much sleeping played a toll on you, and I mean, it looked like it was horrible to sleep. Like, was that the most uncomfortable thing as you kind of started for the first kind of few weeks?
Yeah, imagine. I mean, all the airplane flights that a lot of us have taken, right? I know a lot of people have never flown on an airplane, but trying to sleep for 3 hours on a commercial jet is pretty much impossible. I had some comfortable seats, but there was some irony in there. The airplane was beautiful on the inside, but they had just redone that interior, which meant all the seats were
So
hard.
stiff. Yes.
So had it been like a 10-year-old jet that was worn in and all that stuff, maybe I would have had a little bit more cushioning, but it was just not comfortable.
It,
And
it,
and to give you guys a little behind the scenes, I was flying Jimmy. I was flying the whole team from day one to different shoots because I've been asked this question so many times. the Beast team does not actually own a private jet. They
No.
don't. Yeah, they do not own a jet. Um, they, their commitment to the environment, and it's expensive. So they actually still fly commercial a lot of the times. Most of the team flies commercial. They really only charter when they absolutely need to. So for 100 days, they had this jet with two pilots, and me as a full time free pilot. So yeah, I mean those days were easy, the fly days, but I had to get my rest. So they offered me the bed pretty early on because I needed to get rest because I was flying Jimmy.
Yeah, yeah, it's you got a little bit of precious cargo.
Yeah.
Because that is something I thought about totally. It's like obviously, like as a pilot, like you have to be well rested. You have to have kind of, mental alertness. So, you mentioned your co-pilot a couple times. Was he assigned? Like, how did that relationship work out?
It was amazing from the very, very, very first flight. Being a contract pilot, you really have no idea who you're going to be paired with. And it's kind of the same in the airlines. So the airline pilots, I mean, some of these major airlines have thousands of pilots. So you may fly with somebody once. They have a nice standard that everybody has to stay within. In private and corporate aviation, that could be wildly variable, from a new pilot to a retired airline pilot with 30,000 hours and 40 years. So you really don't know what you're going to get into or who you're going to get paired with. Obina and I, from day one, we hit it off because with my military background, I was very thorough. I come from a crew environment. And I said, hey, this is from even though I'm the contestant, we were both captain qualified. I said at any point, this is a two thumbs up operation. We both have to be comfortable with everything, whether it's weather, maintenance, operational, content wise. If either one of us is uncomfortable with it, we don't do it. And the Beast team, I was really impressed with them. They honored our not just our requests, but our input, right? So they've never had a contestant that I know of that was also doing their job. And I had to many times, take off my contestant hat and then put on my airplane captain hat. And I would have to, explain to them, hey, we can't do that because we would go over on our crew day, or we have a maximum of flight hours to that we can fly in one day. Little things as like my beard. If you notice, my beard was short. I didn't grow it out because we have regulations for the oxygen masks.
Wow.
So I kind of told them that I had to keep a beard trimmer because the oxygen mask has to make a good seal.
It's it's so interesting because I think about I have a friend who actually flew Air Force One, and is like when you think about it, like that's the only time where the president's not in charge, you know. And kind of the same thing. This is probably like one of the only few times where Jimmy wasn't totally in charge over one of his contestants in a challenge, and it's like, it's just a neat balance, and I'm so glad. I mean, obviously, I knew they would because they're just pros, but it is a unique challenge for you to be able to kind of go contestant, captain.
Here's the other weird part about being a contestant. It was my license on the line.
Oh yeah,
So we had to, at all points, stick with federal regulations and policies and directives because I couldn't do anything in front of the cameras, or I wouldn't do anything, whether the cameras or not, that would potentially put my career, that aircraft, on the line. So there was a lot that wasn't shown, that really didn't, wasn't part of the challenge, but
it's so interesting, and I hopefully everybody listening kind of gets that. It's like you are doing your job, but also a contestant, a challenge. And okay, so getting back to the challenge, and kind of the uniqueness between flying, like what daily routines did you do to kind of stay sane?
I'm kind of glad that they didn't use some of it. So I cleaned obsessively. What One of the things I did, so I only went into this challenge with essentially what I would have had on a contract trip. So I had a bag, and it had enough supplies for me to do a week long trip because when I, had it just been a contract trip, I would have been able to do laundry and all that stuff. So I had a bag with like the beard trimmer, a pack of playing cards, and all that stuff. But they only left me whatever was already in the airplane. At nothing in there was cleaning supplies. So I spent a lot of time picking. It had black carpet and white leather, so I kept it clean. I had these cleaning rags. I cleaned a lot. I walked. They showed my little crab walk, but every day I would walk an hour, and it was only 18 feet. So think of a school bus, right? So from the front of the school bus to the back of the school bus, I would just walk for an hour back and forth to get some exercise.
And
Um,
so, with those kind of routines, like what was the absolute strangest or weirdest or most surprising thing you did to pass the time? You know, you said
um,
you're glad they didn't share it. So, what didn't they share?
Oh, the cleaning part, I thought for sure they were going to do some kind of time lapse of me cleaning or me walking. One of the fun things that I did is, um, while I didn't obviously didn't have any laundry facilities, the uniforms that I was wearing were dry cleaned. And when you get your trousers back from the dry cleaner, there's a little cardboard bit at the bottom of the hanger. So there was a steak knife in the galley, and I figured out that I could cut that cardboard after two dry cleanings of my trousers. I cut the cardboard into chess pieces, and I had a paper placemat, and I found a Sharpie in one of the drawers. So I created a, a chessboard and chess pieces out of cardboard, and I played a lot of chess by myself, like Queen's Gambit style. So that
That
killed
is
hours and hours.
yes, no, that like that's the stuff I wanted to hear. Like that is super creative. That's awesome. Um, so you mentioned you were you were prepared to a degree for being away from your deployments, but like the the mental health of isolation. Like when did you kind of like were there times where you almost broke?
Almost broke. No, I always, it's not great to internalize other people's pain and other people's struggles. You can acknowledge it, but there are a lot of people in this world that go through, a lot of uh, harder situations, harder challenges than this. And I was always cognizant that this was a challenge, but there were cameras. I was in a safe environment. There was people watching me all the time. That um, you know, I did I did plenty of things to keep myself busy, but there's a lot of career fields that need to travel and be away from their families. Oil rigs workers and truckers and smoke jumpers and fishermen, right? Like there's a lot of people that leave for months at a time and have to leave their families. So I kind of tried to internalize some of that and just keep that as my motivation of, hey, it's hard, but a lot of people have to do the hard things.
Yeah, and there's an end. We know there's an end to this, and there's a prize to it. Um, and it's one of these things where it's like once you commit to it and you know it's gonna be on YouTube, it's kind of like I mean, even though you weren't gonna quit anyway, the pressure's on where I have to finish.
Yeah.
Like there's like it's gonna be on the internet forever. Like I have to finish. Um,
Now Jimmy threw a huge wrench into that at the end, but
yeah, and I mean, we can get there now, and we can go backwards. Like that was day 90. Day 90, you get teed up. Like, hey, by the way, I'll give you another 500K to spend an extra 100 days. And when you kind of do the math, that's like making $1.7 million a year. Granted, it's 100 days again away from your wife and daughter. I think, when I watch you, I feel like I kind of had an idea of what you were going to do. The only time I didn't know what you were going to do is I thought for sure you're going to take the shower. Because like I would have, because it's like, oh my gosh, you can stand up tall and have a shower. Like I would want to have a shower. Um, but like at the end, I'm like, I didn't know. Like, he might do this. Like, did you have like what went through your mind those 9 days before day 100?
yeah, I certainly considered it. It is a big sum of money, and one of the things that I had worried about most was would I have the money to operate the airplane? Yet at the same time, I had calculated that I had 2,533 days until my daughter has the choice to leave me for good or not.
Yeah.
And 100 days I could justify in my head. 200 days, almost 10% of the time that I have left with her before she turns 18 and makes her own choices. I don't know that I could rationalize that and justify that, to spend 10% of my remaining time with my daughter in a jet for a challenge for $500,000. So she was forefront in my mind. I was already at day 100. I had won the jet, and what wasn't entirely clear in the video was the offer was an extension for another 100 days. So the risk of me,
Oh,
yeah, so the risk of me falling off the wing, accidentally stepping off the door step, having a maintenance issue that wouldn't allow me to continue the challenge. For me, the risk of another 100 days, when both mentally and physically, I had already made it the 100. I had the jet, I had the prize. For me, the family aspect was more important. And I spent my last 2 years in the military remote. I was overseas. My family stayed in North Carolina. So I have already missed 2 years of my daughter's life and my wife, right? I mean, this is hard. Some people have said, like, well, you had it harder. It's like, no, you know this, Jeff. Like, it's always harder being left behind.
oh my gosh.
That's the person who has to take the load. So I knew my wife had it harder, right? And I just, there was all those things combined. I just wasn't, I couldn't rationalize spending another 100 days.
And so just if let's say you did do it and it was 101 and you touch the ground, you don't just lose the 500K, you lose the 2.5 million too.
Lose the whole challenge.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. That's like, you had to do that. Like, and I would have made the same choice as you. And like, I love when your wife is like, I heard this, you better not take anything. That would be my, like, no, like, but like when you think about it, like, to look at these videos, I mean, do you know where your video ranks amongst all of MrBeast videos? Like,
I don't actually.
So from a trend perspective, like for the first 10 days, you're in the top 5 of all time,
Yeah.
which is unbelievable. You know,
I mean,
it's an awesome video. It's one of the longer videos too, and it's but like you get to a point, and from a cash prize perspective, like what was the total you took home?
well, that's kind of a loaded question because it was only $50,000. I have a very expensive jet, and
Yeah,
the
so,
jet went right into maintenance. And
so that's what I mean. So okay, so wow, like you still own the jet, you still have the jet.
yeah, it's in maintenance. We just wrapped early June. We had deferred some maintenance, some scheduled maintenance, nothing serious. But in order to keep the production going, we had deferred some of these maintenance items. So I actually flew the jet a couple times. I flew it back and forth to Greenville, so they could take the the cameras off. Right? I mean, it was loaded full of cameras. So one flight was to take it so the team could de-rig everything, and then I flew it back home with Obina the whole time,
Oh my
and
gosh.
then we flew it to maintenance. It's in maintenance in Charlotte right now as we speak. So just kind of getting caught up on inspections and everything. So it's kind of a weird question because
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I didn't know you kept it.
yeah,
And
as of right now,
that is
it's
awesome. Like I in my mind, I was like, because again, this is you sitting back in the chair doing the calculations. Like, okay, like there's no way he's going to keep this thing. He's just going to take the cash and call it a day. Clearly, I'm not a pilot, and clearly, I haven't thought about Croatia, Tanzania, all these places you want to take your family. Um, so let's keep.
well, I'll give credit to the Beast team. Everything they do is genuine, right? I mean, I think a lot of people would probably think that they are, a big production company now that they're so big. They're really not. They're really just good people trying to make great content for the internet, and they stayed true to their word. The prize was the jet. It wasn't a cash value. It wasn't um, hey, we're going to give you this or that. The prize was the jet, and I
I
got the
love it.
jet.
Which is awesome. I mean, so it is the largest, the cash equivalent prize,
Equivalent, yeah.
yeah, in Mr. Beast YouTube history. 2.55. That's the math, yeah. 2.55, which
Yeah.
is amazing. Like that is congrats. Like it's awesome. So like taking a step back, this thing comes out of maintenance. What's the plan?
Well, I think my daughter said I had to fly to Orlando, so I got to take all her friends to Orlando.
Disney?
We'll go to Disney. We'll go to Universal. I
How
am.
how much fun is that going to be? Are you kidding me?
That's all I dreamt about through the whole. And they didn't show this, but I journaled a lot. I
Yeah.
filled 2 full volumes, and uh, a lot of it was just dream flights that I would do. And the only dream flight, if nothing else happened, if I had to sell the jet immediately, I just want to do the one dream flight, which is take my daughter and her 3 best friends to Orlando, and all the parents, and we go down there for a long weekend. So that's really the only flight that I must do. And then whatever I haven't decided. There's the MrBeast team is great. They're supporting me, right? Like they're helping. They don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. So they are helping me with some of the costs. But I don't know. I haven't really figured out what to do with the airplane quite yet. If I'm going to sell it, keep it, or
Hey, it's a good problem to have. I mean,
it is a good problem.
it's an airplane you know kind of inside and out. You know all the costs associated with it. Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, you get to play around a little bit. I mean, it'd be it'd be a ton of fun. I could only imagine flying to some beautiful places with your family. Um,
Yeah.
so Orlando, are you guys a big Disney family usually? Have you guys been there?
Uh, we have never been to Disney as a family,
Oh my
so
gosh. Okay.
I don't I don't know yet.
We we go to Disneyland every year. Lucas loves it, and his older brother Jack loves it. And I've never taken him to Disney World. Disney World is like 3 times a bit the size.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a blast. I am so excited for you. Like you have to document this trip. I'm sure you will, but man, have so much fun.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Um, Back to the cash and trying to operate this plane. Like you turned down, what was a Lamborghini. Um,
To
you
be
know,
fair, I didn't know it was a Lamborghini.
I get it, I know, but I mean, the crazy thing about Jimmy is like he kind of all likes to tell you what he's going to do. There could be $250,000, or it could be something else. Um, like when you learn that you could have done that, and the door closes and everybody goes away, and you go back by yourself inside the jet. Did you kind of think about it a lot, or did you just kind of get over it?
Uh, get right over it. One of the things, in building resiliency for life challenges is, hey, whatever decisions you make, you just got to move on, right?
Love
Whether
it.
it's a mistake, I don't consider that a mistake. It was just a decision that I made. So it was in the past.
I don't think it was a bad decision at all.
Oh no, well, I think we're probably similar ages, so I think the bed assured that I could make it the 100 days.
Yes, I mean, I think all the decisions, like the workout, was just I would have paid more than that for it. I mean, like to actually have some space and to be like the
Yeah.
just I picture you in your chair, like reading a book, drinking coffee. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do that for 50 days. Like that'd be sweet. Um, how much of a upgrade in your life did the outdoor kind of workout kind of space do for you?
Yeah, that was a total game changer. And you kind of mentioned the shower a little bit earlier. And if you pause the video, it's somewhere in the 70s. There's a really short clip of me laying in a kiddie pool. At that point, I had DoorDash. So I DoorDashed a kiddie pool, and I DoorDashed 15 gallons of the giant jugs of like cooler water.
No way.
And yeah, and a pink flamingo inflatable thingy, and like I would actually just hang out, and I DoorDashed bubble bath. So
Brilliant.
uh
I mean,
so I
the DoorDash was a hit. Do you think Jimmy knew that you would hack it that bad?
no, not by any means. I
Brilliant
don't know
move.
what he expected, and it was actually Nolan I really that the day I got DoorDash, I really just wanted tacos. Like I just wanted to not eat canned meat, and he and it was actually Nolan that was like, we can order anything. I was like, what? You think Jimmy will be down with that? And he said, well, I don't know. Let's find out. And that's where Nolan ordered all of those things, the decorations, everything. That was all for real. I didn't actually know that you could order all that stuff off of DoorDash.
It's
Fun
crazy.
fact: I tried to DoorDash a Kindle, and it got there, it got delivered, but the producers were like, "Yeah, no devices, buddy."
Uh-uh.
Um,
But
yeah,
but
I
you had
tried to.
but you got books, right?
I DoorDash books.
Yeah, which is
Um, yeah, another kind of funny behind the scenes story is on DoorDash, the one store in Greenville, North Carolina that has books. There's no book descriptions. So it's just the cover of the book. No spine, no inside. So I was literally just ordering books. I had no idea what they were. I was going off the cover and the titles. There was zero description, so that little bit of feedback for DoorDash, maybe put some
yeah.
descriptions on there. I ended up reading genres that I would have never read, but it was all fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a cool way to pass the time. I felt like after day 50, when you got to see your wife and daughter, like that just gives you this boost of energy and kind of boost of, oh, I'm halfway. I knew I was going to make it, but I'm definitely going to make it now. And then you get out, so you get to your outdoor kind of workout space. It's like, I kind of felt like, not like you were smooth sailing, but like you looked happy. You looked like you're in a good spot. And then you get the kind of the bomb drop at day 90. But going back to the family, before they came at day 50, you kind of mentioned, that family was your weak point.
Yeah.
Like obviously you've been crystal clear how resilient you are. Um, but like, did missing them kind of affect your resolve? Did it affect your mood? Like, or was it just kind of, gosh, I miss them.
Yeah, there were definitely hard days during the challenge, as anyone would expect in 100 days of isolation. I'm going to say about 70-ish days of isolation because there was about 30-ish, maybe a little bit more of flying days. The flying days were easy, um, and it was fun to see Jimmy and the team. A lot of those didn't make the video. I missed my family from day one. I knew I would miss them, but I wasn't worried about them because of that family strength that we had built that I talked about earlier. So yes, I did miss them, um, but I knew they were just fine and maybe thriving without me because it was a chance for my wife and my daughter to bond.
Yeah.
It was a chance for us to kind of stress our support network a little bit,
Yeah.
which all turned out great. Um,
It's
they I found out afterwards that the production team was in constant communication with them, even though I didn't have any updates or anything. I would keep asking. I would ask the producers, "How's my family doing?" And they would just keep saying, "No news is good news." Um,
I mean, but isn't it crazy? And that's one thing I did, like in retrospect, stepping back. At the time, I hated it. Like, I want to talk to my wife. I want to talk to my kids. How are they doing? They started school. Again, I was only gone for 5 weeks. Um, but I love how strict they are.
yeah.
I just like how, nope, these are the rules. We are playing by the rules.
Yep.
It's pretty impressive. So I mean, it sounds like you and I both are blessed with some strong but amazing women as wives. Because the same thing happened to me. Like I knew Jen was going to step up, and obviously she's the rock of our family. I mean, she steps up every day, but I knew she'd figure stuff out, and our support system really leaned in. And again, it's neat to come back and just to have my two sons and her experience something different too. They kind of go, "Oh, I can do it." This is special. So I think this kind of leads into something I really want to know is kind of looking back, you know, with you think about personal growth or insights, like, been in the military 22 years, you're a private pilot, you're successful, like this 100 days, like what did you learn about yourself that you didn't know before?
Yeah. The biggest takeaway for me was to slow down. So, I mean, I was forced to slow down. right from day one. I realized during the challenge how much I had personally put on my plate before the challenge, and you know, trying to get all the things done and giving myself guilt trips for not doing house projects, or maybe I could, be better at work and this and that. And I'm always studying, and I'm just going from A to B to C to D, right? Like as parents, as things, you're just, your bucket is just full all the time. And my bucket was just tipped upside down and completely emptied from day one, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I didn't, in my journal, I didn't write anything about my devices or missing my phone until day 53. And I remember that specifically because it was after seeing my family, that was the first time that I thought, oh man, I wonder what's going on in the outside world. So it was great to disconnect from the world. It was great to be forced to slow down and do some exercise, do some stretches. Yeah, so that was my biggest takeaway.
It's similar for me. Like after 3 days, I was like, I love not having a device. I love not knowing what was going on in the world. It was awesome. Like I had I had no clue what date it was. And especially in Beast games, they shoot mostly at night. I didn't even know what time of
Hmm.
day. I didn't even know what time it was. It was refreshing, but like one thing that was hard for me was kind of getting back into the real world. Like, like how was your kind of transition and re-entry kind of back into being a dad, being a husband? Did you go back to work right away?
Yeah, luckily I had a lot of experience sending people away and receiving people back home, right? So I was, like I said, in special operations, very dynamic, where we always, as managers, as leaders, did everything in our power to make sure that the people that worked for us in our organizations were armed with the financial readiness, the spiritual readiness, the physical readiness to leave on a moment's notice. So I think a lot of that military experience of watching the military members, both men and women, come back, we always stressed, hey, your spouse that was left behind has been running the house for months at a time, right? And as Air Force members, we have it a little bit easier than some of the other services. Army and Marines, they're often gone for 12 months, sometimes even 18 months at a time. So you can't just come back in and start making rules again. Your partner has been literally driving the boat. So for me, I knew better, and I came back out of the challenge, and I said, "Hey, I'm not going to make any rules. I'm not going to make any decisions for a couple weeks until my wife Megan was ready for me to start jumping up." And I left it to her. I was like, "When you want me to start picking stuff back up, then you let me know, and I'll do that." But I had enough experience in the past that I knew not to come back and just jump right in.
It's smart. It's um, my wife kind of had the wherewithal to kind of go, hey, let's ease your way in. I obviously wasn't in the military, didn't have that experience, but I think that's something that um, I'm sure over your experience, the Beast team hopefully kind of will take those learnings and kind of share it with people, because I think it is hard. It's hard when you kind of someone who's never experienced it to step away from reality and get into this fantasy world that is a ton of fun, challenging mentally, physically, psychologically, and then it's just over like that. Um, so yeah, kudos to you and your family for kind of having the plan to make it through.
Well, and you, right? I mean, we're in a very small group of people, of successful contestants, and hopefully our group continues to grow, and we all, share our experiences. And what you're doing with this podcast is exactly what we need to say, hey, pick a little bit of Armando, a little bit of Jeff, a little bit of Byron, a little bit of, this person. Like, we've all had our experiences that we can share with each other, and
It's
it's
cool.
awesome.
It
Yeah.
is, and I really think it's cliche to say it, but like I think it really is only the beginning for Jimmy and the Beast team. Like they are they're gonna do some amazing things, and they already have. So I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Kind of a small part of it, but I love what they're doing, and I'm a huge fan of it. So one thing that I kind of reached out to my people is that they want to know like what's next for you. Like, are you back to work? Are you taking some time off? Are you like what is Armando doing now that this 100 days is over and his kind of re-entry is kind of time has passed? Like, what's on the docket for you?
Yeah, I love flying. I love my job. I love what I do. So I took just about a month off. Even right now, actually, I'm on vacation. It was a trip that we had scheduled while I was in the challenge, and we had to obviously reschedule it. So I'm catching up on some of those trips, but I went back to work about a month after the challenge. My boss was awesome. That was another part of the my final decision on the staying an extra 100 days. My boss, I knew going in, was cool with me leaving for 100 days, but I have a great job,
Yeah.
and my company was under no obligation to keep me if I had said yes and now left for 6 months and left them in a bind without a pilot. So in order to preserve that relationship also, I came right back to work. So I'm flying with them again, and just kind of,
Oh,
yeah, right back to normal, not really making any big changes or moves.
I like it. That was like kind of my style. Is life, I'm sure for you changed in so many ways, but in so many ways it's still the same. And it sounds like it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very fortunate with family and my professional career and everything.
Anything else that you'd like to share with the audience, the viewers?
Uh, no, aside from the fact that I did ask my co-pilot Obina to tell me at any point if he thought I was stinky, and uh,
Oh,
and he never did. I'll give you one just funny.
well, how many packets of dude wipes did you go through?
A lot. And then once I could DoorDash them, then I just DoorDashed a bunch of dude wipes. But also, there was hand soap in the airplane bathroom, and there was cleaning rags, and the bathroom worked, so it had running water, and I had a microwave. So actually, I basically kept clean with dude wipes and hot towels, and
Oh,
would do like little bubble baths.
it's like
So I was
first
pretty
class
confident.
service. Yeah, you had your hot towels.
I was pretty confident in turning down the shower for the money, because I was like, I had figured that out pretty early on.
Well, I mean, I even just the way you measured your tasks that you've completed, just the cups, and you put them to the side. Like I could just tell you are very attentive to detail, and I mean, I think most pilots are that at least I know. Um, so like I figure it doesn't surprise me that you figured out a way to get a hot towel to clean your body. It's hysterical.
Yeah, 45 seconds in the microwave.
Oh well, hey, that's
I
the
only wanted to finish that because I get that question. That's the first question that always comes up is, really?
I
You really didn't shower?
but I love it. Hey, that's a hot tip to make yourself kind of feel warm and comfortable and clean. Get a washcloth, get a little wet,
That's
45
it.
seconds in the microwave, clean on up, and go to bed. Easy as that.
There you go.
Well, Armando, this was awesome having you. I'm super proud of you. This was one of my favorite videos to watch. 100 days in isolation, pretty much isolation is frightening to me. And you did it with a smile on your face. You did it with class. And I love how you chose your family every time you could. It was
Thank
pretty
you. That's huge coming from you, and I really, really appreciate that and those thoughts.
beautiful. Well, that was another episode of the Beast Files with Armando. Make sure you check out Armando. Armando, can you tell us again where they can find you online?
All of my social media is at FlyAJC. That's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Everything is just FlyAJC.
Armando's got some great content. Check it out, support him, and we'll see you soon.